I'm sure you've heard it all before. Practice more, keep learning, market yourself. But here's the problem. Nobody ever tells you how to practice. Practice for what? Nobody ever tells you what to learn. Nobody tells you why those things actually matter. And that discourages artists. Hello! My name is Angelette, and we are building our art careers together. These are advice that artists and people in general hear almost every day, but they don't follow them, or at least they can't, or don't know how to. Starting with number 1, practice. You always hear people say, practice every day. That's very obvious. Everybody knows that, but almost nobody does it consistently, and I don't think it's because artists are lazy. Sometimes life genuinely gets in the way. People have jobs, people have children, university, their own other businesses, health problems. That's more than understandable. But there's another reason why artists just simply don't do it. And it's because they're scared. They're scared of giving themselves a tangible proof that maybe they're not as good as they thought that they were. So instead of treating practice, like let's experiment today, let's improve the way we draw hands, they treat it like this better be portfolio worthy, this better be exhibition worthy. And that's a huge difference. Many artists tend to forget that practice is not supposed to be a masterpiece. Practice is where you're supposed to fail. Practice is where you're supposed to make ugly paintings so that you can see for yourself, how do I make it not ugly? Practice is where you're supposed to discover that you're probably terrible at drawing hands and now you have to work on that. Special mention to myself. Or you're terrible at perspectives and now you have to fix that, and now you know what needs work. Now you know where to improve. That's what practice is for. I have encountered a lot of artists when they say, I'm practicing. They are too focused on every little tiny detail that it just stresses them out, and because of that they don't continue. Years ago, I had the exact same problem. I painted food constantly, not only because I genuinely loved illustrating food, because I find comfort in it, but because food was safe. I knew that I was good at drawing food. I knew that there was little to no risk whenever I paint or illustrate food. I knew that I could make food look nice. Food did not ask me to draw anatomy. Food did not need to have so much perspective, or I could choose to not give it so much perspective. Food didn't ask me to draw such complicated backgrounds. Food didn't ask me to invent crazy fantasy creatures that I'm doing now. So I stayed there inside that comfort zone. And I guess part of my art block is me not knowing what else to make because I kept making the same thing over and over again. So looking back, I didn't think I was practicing. I was protecting my ego. I did not want to risk anything. Another reason why artists don't practice is because it costs money to practice. Supplies cost money, especially if you're a student, especially if you're supporting a family, or simply because you don't have much, and I completely understand that. Sometimes every sheet of watercolor paper is just so valuable that you just don't want to risk wasting it, and I have been there. You don't want to waste good paper or good colors, good paint, on something that is a what if, on something that might look horrible. But here's something interesting. Actually, a lot of collectors love sketches because they want to be a part of your learning process. They want to be a part of your story before you started making all these big finished artworks. They want to know what made you come to this because they feel like they're seeing how the artist thinks. So don't automatically assume that practice has no value. The second advice that artists hear all the time is to learn. Artists constantly hear, keep learning, keep studying. But I think people misunderstand what that means. They immediately think, maybe I should watch another art tutorial. Yes, that's going to help. Do that, but don't stop there. Learn art history. Learn why Impressionism happened. Learn why Cubism happened. Learn why some artists just deliberately refuse to do realism at all. Learn why Picasso changed his art style. Learn about and follow artists who are working today, not just the great masters of the past. Study contemporary painters, abstract artists. Study comic illustrators. See how they're responding to today's world. Listen to interviews of other artists, because just one interview is going to make you see how these artists communicate and how these artists think. Because because the more knowledge that you have, then the more ideas that your brain can connect together. Third most common advice that artists hear, and this is very much related to marketing. And this is probably the biggest lesson that I've learned during my art block. It's to expand outside of the art world. Because during my art block, of course, I was not becoming a better artist, but I could say that I was becoming a better person. Or I would say a more versatile, a more independent person. I learned money management. I learned how to build a website from scratch. I learned how to dress up and present myself to other people. I learned branding, photography, SEOs. I learned fashion and cooking and how to take better care of myself and my home and the people around me, how to organize projects and events and do research. None of those things look artistic. None of these things seem like they would affect art, but they actually do. And every single one of them made me become a much better artist later on. One thing that I think artists underestimate is communication. And I know, I can relate to this for most of my life. I hated talking to people. I hate gatherings. If someone else could explain my artwork, please do. But eventually I learned and I realized that buyers don't just buy your paintings. They buy stories. They buy personalities. Who's the person behind this painting? What's her story? Why did he or she paint this? They buy connections. If you can explain why you painted something, if you could explain what was happening in your life, people suddenly connect with the artwork in a different way. Communication is not just talking. Communication is writing emails, writing artist statements. If people comment on your work, you reply to them. And that's something that I still really struggle with. Communication is talking to gallery owners. Communication is talking to establishment owners. Communication can simply be introducing yourself or making a YouTube video or just simply saying thank you. Those are also artistic skills. Today, I went to a restaurant with my family. And what do normal people do in a restaurant? They arrive, they eat, they talk with their friends and their families, they pay, they leave. But today, I did something different. Before leaving, I walked to the counter. And this is something I don't do often, and this is something that if you told me this 2 years ago, 4 years ago, I would never have believed that I was able to do this simple task because I hate doing it. So before leaving, I walked to the bar counter and I asked the person working there a simple question. And in my perfect German, I asked, "Do you accept art exhibits here?" That question probably took 3 seconds to ask, but it took years to become the kind of person who has the courage to even go and ask. And you know what? If they said no, what do I lose? I move on with my day. I go home. But if they say yes, now I have information. Now I have a lead. Now I have a goal. Now I know that I have to plan something. Just a single question created an opportunity. It took years for me to realize that maybe confidence is not just a personality that you're born with, but confidence is a skill that you learn and improve. Advice number 4, learn practical skills that most artists ignore. So what are practical skills? You can already paint, you can already illustrate, but now what? You don't know what to do with them. So this is the part where you expand your knowledge that directly affects your artworks without the painting part. For example, now you've done your artwork. It's finished. What now? Some artists build a website or learn to build websites. Or you can also just simply clean up all of your email addresses, organize them, and now you have a way for people to communicate with you and you have a way to communicate with potential buyers. Many artists tend to not learn or learn too late about framing. So while I was in the process of framing these, I didn't expect or I didn't realize that there were so many options for framing. So which one do I choose? Do you choose a wooden frame? Do you choose a plastic frame? Do you want something that has real glass or acrylic glass? Even the matting boards, you had to choose which one you wanted and which one would fit with your artworks. Learn how to apply for exhibitions. Learn how to be able to get into galleries or have a chance to exhibit at a cafe. Another thing that I would suggest learning would be learning about contracts. Or if you want to go extreme, you could learn all about insurance, insuring your artwork. And of course, learning all about taxes, depending on where you live. Number 5, investments. And I don't mean buy the most expensive paints And I think a lot of beginners hear that advice a lot because a lot of people, even I, would swear by more expensive paints, have more pigment, have better texture, expensive brushes are smoother to use. And unfortunately, I personally agree. But of course, investing in good art materials will eventually come to you because you as the artist will start looking for good and better quality. And that's already very obvious advice. But instead, ask yourself, what is currently limiting me? What is currently limiting my art career? Maybe you need to invest in better lighting for photography, or maybe you need to invest in yourself and attend workshops. Maybe you want to make art prints and now you have to invest in a good scanner and a good printer. Maybe you want to exhibit at a cafe. Maybe you need an easel to exhibit there. Oh, finally, you have a buyer and now you have to invest in a proper shipping box, in bubble wrap. Maybe you have to invest in experiences and opportunities, traveling to exhibitions, looking at art shows. For me, learning German is the best investment I can make right now. Of course, not because speaking German is going to automatically make me a better painter, but because it helps me become part of the art community of the place that I actually live in. Number 6, build a real identity. And I mean a real identity. I think a lot of artists misunderstand branding. Branding means becoming more recognizable. It could be your art style, or it could be the way that you present yourself. Some artists are very, very posh and elegant. Some are chaotic. Some are mysterious. Some have their own signature outfits, and that's all fine. The important thing is that it still feels like you. Because if you're going to do a fake persona or create this fake character that has absolutely nothing to do with you, then that is not going to last. You're not going to be able to maintain that. You're just going to feel exhausted. Eventually, you will get tired of performing, and people are surprisingly good at sensing authenticity. You don't have to reveal every detail about your life. Privacy is healthy, but the parts of yourself that you actually want to show, let them actually be yours. Becoming a better artist is not just becoming a better painter. It's not just about mastering anatomy or perspective. It's about becoming better at learning, better at asking questions, better at communicating, better at researching, better at presenting your work, especially if your real goal is to really get yourself out there, get your art out there, get your art career going. If you want to make art just for the sake of making art for yourself, that's fine. Being a better artist can be about understanding other people better, understanding yourself better, understanding what you want better, because one day your technical skills will catch up, and when they do, you will be grateful that everything else around you also grew and also improved. And remember, especially in this modern day and age of AI and social media, paintings don't build careers by themselves. Artists do, and that's up to you.